I hope you guys don't have lunch plans booked, because I think there's enough room in here for second service as well, right? We can squeeze. Yeah. It is such an honor to be here with you in person. Usually I'm just behind the screen there listening and always watching you. But I wanted, Pastor Mike asked me first to share a little bit of an update about what we're doing in Thailand. And this is why it might go really long today, because once I get talking about what God is doing there, I'm just going to keep going. So where's Carrie? She left. Good. So she's not. Oh, she's back there. She's ready to give me the cues of stopping. But for those of you who don't know, Eve and myself, we are serving with Youth with a Mission in Thailand, and this church has been supporting us for a long time, for many, many years. And less than a year ago, we stood here and we shared about some exciting things that we thought God was going to be doing, and He did a lot more than that. And so you can just go to the next slide. Many of you know that Eve and Mark got married in this last year. So when you pray for more team members, we didn't expect it to come in the form of a husband for Eve, but we'll take them as they come. So, but he's been a great addition to our team. The kids, they've been asking me since they left in April to come to the States. The kids have been asking me every day, when is Papa Mark coming back? We miss Papa Mark. And so he's already a part of the community there. And a lot of people have already asked, so I'll try to answer this briefly. Their plans are they are working on their visa situations, because now it's a cross-cultural marriage, and with that comes visa issues. And so they're sorting that out, and their hope is to be able to return to Thailand in about September, October sometime. So they're around the area. So if you want to hear their full story, grab them and make a coffee date with them. But I wanted to just say thank you for your partnership with what we are doing. We couldn't do everything that we are doing over there without it. And we know that your prayers of your kingdom come, your will be done. I think there's a slide. It's not important. Your prayers are being answered. And so I have a little list here, because otherwise I'll just keep talking. So we are in the process of, have been in the house that you all prayed for and helped give towards for 4 years now. And it's amazing to be able to stand here and say that. And the house is still standing. So I feel like we're doing something right. But in that, we have, besides just living in that house and in the community, we hold a lot of other responsibilities with YWAM, between training and teaching and leadership responsibilities, a lot of traveling around to different places. We are still facilitating and leading discipleship training schools in different places. And so we do a lot beyond just what I most am proud of, which is the kids. So just when I talk about the kids, know that that's just a part of what we're actually doing over there. Our days are very full. When I talk about my typical day to my mother, who's also here somewhere, she always says, I'm so tired just listening to you talk. So this is a little bit of what we're doing, but I know that you're most interested in what's happening with the kids, or at least I think you are, because you should be. So, last year when we were here, we shared that we were setting up a house church. Well, that is now full on happening. We have about 10 members to our church that come to our house every Sunday. We gather together, and we've started in Genesis, and we're going to work our way through Revelation. So in about 2067, we should get there. We are going very slow, but we are learning a lot together, and it's amazing to see how Holy Spirit is speaking to these members, to their hearts, and just showing them, revealing to them who God is and what does He mean for their lives now that they follow Him. And because we have a church, and we are now calling ourselves the House of Lights, we were able to get certification. I know last year I mentioned we were trying for that. Well, we got it. Another thing off the list. So we now are certified as a child protection center, which means that we are in collaboration with another organization that has good relationship with the Thai government. We are now a place where the kids can officially come and receive protection if they would need that. And through that, then, we were able to really start the child sponsorship program that many of you, last year when I stood here and I said, hey, we have this crazy idea that maybe we should do this thing, and if you're interested, like, it's not set up yet, but feel free. It was a really wishy-washy sort of plea, and all of you came back there and took all of the kids, and my first thought was, well, now we have to do that. That's a lot more work. So ended up going back, and we've been working tirelessly to do that. And so I'm just going to skip ahead and say that we are now able to sponsor 29 children to go to school. I hope you're clapping for yourselves, because this is what you guys are partnering with us. This is how God is answering, your kingdom come, your will be done. And through all of this sponsorship and become more legitimate, we have been able to go into schools. So last Christmas, these are all pictures of our Christmas into 5 different schools. We were able to share the gospel of Jesus with about 1,300 kids in our area. And well, not all of them, but the small schools, they all got gifts. We did not know we were going into a 1,000-person school at one point, so they got candy. That's good enough, right? So we've been able to just do all these things. And we had the day that Eve and Mark left to come to the States, I decided that would be a good time to have an opening for the child sponsorship program at our house. So we put up all the lights, hence the name House of Lights, and we invited the community. The kids came, their protectors or their caretakers came in, and we were able to legitimately say, this is who we are, this is what we're doing, and now we're partnering with you as parents, as caretakers, to be a part of this. And they started to just cry, realizing that they now could send their kids to school without it being a massive financial strain on their families. And then shortly after that, you can keep going through the photos. Shortly after that, we took all the kids shopping. So it was this tiny shop, and I had like 16 kids in there at once, and then I took another 16 kids. And it was craziness how the shopkeepers, they bent over backwards for us. They were like, oh, we'll give you this for free, and what if we do this? And they were just partnering with us. And we were able to get each one of the 29 kids at least 3 uniforms, including shoes and a backpack that has our House of Lights written on it. And so it's been amazing to be on the front lines of this. But I don't do that without knowing that each one of you are right there behind us, supporting this project and also praying for us in all of this. So it has been an absolutely amazing year, but that's not all. There's more. So many of you know that Pitang, you might recognize that name. She's been our person of peace. You can kind of skip to the end. These are a bunch of the kiddos. She actually, Christmas time, we were preparing for our big Christmas party that we have at our house. There she is. And she comes into the kitchen and she says, I'm ready. And I'm like, great. Ready for what? We're going to do some chicken now? What's going on? Because she's cooking for all the food. And she's like, no, I'm ready to receive Jesus. And I'm like, what? Stop the show, everybody. We're meeting in the kitchen. And so they all came into the kitchen, and Eve was able to lead Pitang in a prayer to receive Jesus. And wow, has she been a firecracker since then. She has been spreading the gospel. She's a little evangelist we didn't know was in there. And so she's been telling all her friends, and she's got like targets painted on the back of each of her friends. That one's next. That one's next. And her grandson came to our house church. He received Jesus. This girl came to our house church. She received Jesus. And then we had, during the opening of the child sponsorship program, this little boy, Jao Nai, he came up to me in his sweet little voice and he said, teacher, today I would like to receive Jesus. And I was like, stop the show. And so again, we were able to pray with him, and he has just been coming to church, even our adult church that we have. He sits there hungry and quiet and listens to everything that's going on. But when he prayed, I just sensed in my spirit that I needed to tell him, Jao Nai, we are now part of the same family. And a couple days later, he came back and he said, teacher, when you told me that we're the same family, that changed my life. And so we just have been able to see so clearly how God is working in the hearts of people. And this is the good news, but we also have some bad news. So the bad news is actually good news disguised as bad news. We have run out of room. So we used to have about 15 to 20 kids that kind of came regularly. Now we're upwards to 36 to 40 kids that are pitching up at our house on the weekend. And our porch, I don't know if you can see that so well, but our porch is crowded. But this is a good problem. And we know that God knows the next step. He knows what's coming. And so I stand here today saying, I have no idea what might happen in a year, because a lot has happened in this last year. But I know God's hand is in it, because he is answering your prayers of God's kingdom coming now and his will being done in Thailand as it is in Williamsport, as it is in heaven. So I just stand here as a missionary that is so loved and so supported by all of you, and say thank you for this partnership. Thank you for being a part of the journey. I hope you caught all that. My mom said don't speak too fast, but it's hard when I see that clock ticking down. All right. So, yes, I would love to talk with you more. For any of you that have been supporting and getting communication from us, we do have a little thank you card from the kids. So please see me if you're sponsoring a child specifically by name. Come and see me, or see Trina. I hired her as my part-time worker today. So yeah, but we'd love to share more stories with you. I could take the rest of the week, but I know you guys have to work. So there are cards outside, out on the little table there as well, next to the information booth. Feel free to take those. I have a lot more in the bag, so wipe me clean, I don't mind. But this is a way that if you want to sponsor, because now we have extra kids that are on our waiting list. And so we have 29, but we have about another 10 to 14 kids that are sort of waiting to be sponsored as well. And the excitement is growing, so I know that number will only begin to grow. And so, yeah, lots of information, ask questions, grab Eve. She's good at explaining things too, when she gets me to help her. So